looking at Group B guys, like for me, you look at Zeta, you look at Envy, and then you think it should be easy, but it's more which one's going to be coming out on top, because Envy seem to be gifted here. fRoD, you were touching on, right, and saying that like, oh yeah, Envy are looking good. We're happy with the position they put themselves into. They've managed to make it here. But do we think this is a group they can top?
Yeah, when it comes to like NA teams outside of Sentinels, Envy is one of the strongest looking teams, especially with their addition of Ye. I mean, it's just been like a whole different feeling, and kind of what we said earlier about teams, like there's not much that you have to study about Envy with Ye. I mean, there's really only that one tournament, and they scrimmed about like, you know, a 1 week prior to that. Now I think that when they get pretty much gifted the easiest group of the whole entire tournament, if they can find a way to just run through this group, do it based on skill, not even really expose any sort of strategy or anything like that, there's going to be even less information for people to study them on. So I think that that's going to help segue to potentially a more dominant bracket run, simply because of the confidence that you can get from the group stage. But for me, I think that this is one of those that I'm not too big of a fan of how, like when we touched on it earlier about like the whole format of different rankings from different regions getting put into a specific group. Like this is one of those groups that I think that in some sort of way it could have been balanced a little bit better, but I'm not going to complain, because for me it's set up for Envy to go right on through. And then to be honest, between it's probably going to end up being Zeta that's just going to, you know, go in there and take over the second spot. But I mean, Envy's going to be set up for a first place run, and then they're going to have to, you know, they'll potentially be set up to play, you know, second place from a different group, and from there it's set up fairly easy for them to just potentially make it into the top 5 or top 3 of a tournament of the major.
Put some damn respect on the Japanese players' names. God damn it. Envy making an easy run for first place in this group. Are you serious? Zeta are going to slap them around. Oh my. I mean, this is the 3rd team coming out of NA. The fact you think they're going to top the group, I mean, it's cute. It really is. Loyalty to your region. But I'm telling you, Zeta, they're coming out on top. I wouldn't be surprised if Vivo Keyed took Envy down, but I'm gonna play nice here.
Here we go. Now he's losing his mind. It's rated in, boy. Rated in.
I'll say Envy make it through the losers bracket, because that's what NA are.
Bro, you know what? One thing is, I can be with you, Mitch, when it comes to your EMEA bias on this. But like, let's be fair. You then took Korea. Now you've gone for Japan. Like, you just get any team you can find that can get a slight advantage against NA. Is that what you're rolling with here, mate?
Hey, I wanted to see Absolute Jupiter back in the day as well, instead of Crazy Raccoons. I mean, now we get to see them in the form of Zeta, obviously. I think this is a team. They've been around a long time. They've got some insane players. Takish especially is just, I've definitely mispronounced that, is absolutely nuts. We get little files before the events. Riot make these like documents that have an audio cue from each coach on how to pronounce their players' names. That is very much appreciated. Otherwise, I'm Irish, you know, I would be making an ass of myself with anybody from outside Western Europe. Not even like go to Eastern Europe, I'm messing it up. So I think Zeta are gonna top it for sure. That's not even biased necessarily, as much as I'd love to see NA teams fail. I really just I think
I don't know if I can take you seriously. I don't know, like I thing is, I can look at this and be like, Envy top this group quite comfortably. Like, it might be a good match against Zeta, goes 3 maps or whatever, sure, fine, but like I would say Zeta will struggle a bit more.
So my thing is, like, I was gonna say I could see a world, but I'm not really sure I could see that world. But I kind of understand where Mitch is getting at, in the sense that, you know, Zeta is one of those teams, just like Vision Strikers in Korea, that they have their own identity, and they've always had their own identity. Like, even from the beta, they've evolved their game style like consistently. This is like, these are the regions that when you watch them play, you can pick up some things, you can learn a couple things here and there, and you can analyze them, and you can see the skill that shines through their gameplay. And I'm not gonna try and call out other regions and stuff that I think that are still a little bit, I would say, stuck in the times and are still playing like beta comps.
You just have to watch the games.
You just watch the games. Look, you said it, not me. But at the same time, I want the game to evolve, and I want the metas to kind of evolve. And for me, the Korean and Japanese scene are 2 of the scenes that you see constant innovation. So for me, as long as they bring that to there, it might surprise Envy a little bit. Now, I think that Envy does have the skill to overcome whatever is thrown at them, but I think that if there is a team that can provide that element of surprise, it's going to have to be from one of those regions.